Express Online. Express Online. Express Online.
Hi guys, welcome back to the SportPad with myself, Eugine S'bu and S'bu. Today we will be talking about the Champions League coming back and also the transfer situation that is being caused by the coronavirus. S'bu, we know on Friday, as we record this, it's Tuesday. So on we will be having the draw for the last eight, the quarterfinals and the semifinals for the Champions League. So far, we have half of the last 16 games played, and then we still have 4 games remaining in the Champions League. S'bu,
Yes, sir.
we have like 4 teams already in. We've got Atletico Madrid who are through after knocking out Liverpool. We've got
Atalanta.
We've got Atalanta. We've also got RB Leipzig who are through, and that is one team to keep note of. RB Leipzig, and also we've got second leg ties still to play between Juventus and Lyon, and at least that match is the home leg for Juventus, so we know that match might happen in the Juventus stadium. We also have Real Madrid's second tie leg against Manchester, where Real Madrid are trailing 2-1. They're going to play away at Manchester City. We have Bayern Munich who are leading 3-0 against your beloved side, Chelsea. And we also have a postponed match between Barcelona and Napoli, which is evenly poised at 1-1. So we're going to do predictions here. We still have much time for that before that comes on. We know that last month the UEFA did mention that they will the second, or from the quarterfinals onwards, it will be a 12-day mini tournament with single-legged ties in Portugal. Now we have a situation where on Friday we've got the draw. The second leg, some of the second leg ties in those games that still need to be played in the last 16. The venues might be changed. We might have a situation where some of them will be played in Portugal, some of them will be played in their original venues. I don't know. For me, this is a game changer now. This is another game changer because, say for example, right, like a person like, I feel that Liverpool were being given a chance that nobody else would have been given when they were given a chance to host their second tie leg against Madrid during the time where the coronavirus, But now we're having a situation where some other teams, like your Real Madrid, are going to play away to Manchester City without that,
with a power effect.
Yeah, the fans won't be there, so it's not like it's an away game, I don't know. What's your take on that?
You see, look, after the Liverpool situation where we saw that happening, and it was truly amazing. I'm not sure if they were trying to make sure that Liverpool defends the Champions League.
I think they will.
They probably do. I mean, that's what everybody else thinks, and that's probably like one of the most disgraceful decisions UEFA has ever taken, amongst a lot of other decisions. That is one of the most or the worst decision ever. I mean, because there's people's lives at stakes there. But I don't want to focus on the politics a lot, because I mean, remember that anything can still happen in the other matches. The 2 other matches, Chelsea and Bayern, that one is clear, guys. Nothing's gonna happen there. That one is clear. And like, looking at Napoli side in the Barcelona 1-0, Napoli, you know how they're doing in the Serie A. firing in all cylinders. Barcelona themselves are not a bad side. I know I said they're bad, but they're not a bad side. They can produce the results on a good day. Man City and Real, whew, yeah,
Ooh.
ne? Yeah, ne?
Ooh.
Yeah. This one you don't wake up in the morning and just say, Real, City. Because remember that what's lingering in the minds of Pep Guardiola and company is that, okay, gents, should we not win this appeal? We are not playing the Champions League next season. We already lost the league. Let's have a good swan song on this in this competition for the next 2 years. Should we not win this appeal, and we have to bring in something. And Real Madrid, they're scraping results, scoring last minute penalties or something. They get the wins, and these two teams, yeah.
Yeah, and Real Madrid. Remember, in those 3 Champions League winning seasons, there were matches where they were practically out, but they came back from nowhere to win those and go on to clinch the championship. And I think you can't count out because they need a 2-0 win. I think a 2-0 win for them is doable. If Man City can lose 1-0 to Southampton, I mean, who's to say Real Madrid can't beat them 3-1? Who's to say Real Madrid can beat them 2-0? There's stake in that match. Many people must not think that it's done and dusted. A 2-0 win.
Remember again that Southampton defeated Man City by a goal to 0. The same Southampton that lost, I think, in 9-1 to Leicester a few months ago. You see, this is football. This is football. This thing will kill and give death at the same time. So you don't want to be, especially for the punters, the people that put in money to, you don't want to take chances. You have to think this properly. Yes, it's a gamble, but don't just think City are out or Real could be out or whatever the case is. Lyon and Juve, it's another exciting match too. Lyon are not playing the Champions League next season. I'm not sure if it's because of their government or because whatever that's happening that side. So there's a lot of things. They finished third.
6th.
Oh, 6th. Oh, okay. Oh, but mathematically they still had a chance to try and challenge to get into the Champions League, but then the season was cancelled. But yeah, they're missing out on the Champions League next season. They have a Juventus side who try to win everything that they're playing for in the Serie A. It's gonna be exciting stuff. I'm just also
going back to Leipzig. The reason that I mentioned them is we know that the pandemic has brought a new reality, to transfer dealings and player contracts, and we've also seen with clubs following their staff that it's going to be difficult financially going into the transfer window. We're not going to see, those. I don't think we're going to see those 150 million transfers for this transfer window because many clubs have lost huge amounts of money. Leipzig being one of them, they have already confirmed the transfer of their star striker, Timo Werner, who has joined Chelsea. Now the thing with that is Chelsea is still in the Champions League, and also Leipzig are still in the Champions League. But the teams will not be able to utilize the services of the striker due to their agreement. So what I wanted to emphasize here is the contracts of players. Players' contract ends on the 30th of June, and many of them, have contracts ended. Their contracts have ended already. Some others have already signed contract extensions until the end of the season. And then some of them didn't. Some players like your Timo Werner have jumped the ship and are not going to represent their teams, the teams that they were at in the Champions League. Some of them are still going to represent them, and we're having a situation where UEFA have said that they will allow teams to include the 3 new players, but
Mm.
those players have to have been registered with the clubs in January.
Yes. Yeah. You see, has been a very I didn't get
I'm
that.
saying that's an almost impossible situation because
Yeah.
that only means that, say for example, this is just an example. That only means, let's say in January, Luis Suarez and Ousmane Dembele were ruled out of the entire of the season.
Season. Yeah.
Then Barcelona didn't register them for
Yes.
the Champions League.
The Champions League.
Then that means they can register those 2 players now.
Yeah. No.
What they can do is to register a new player that they just bought into their squad. But now Chelsea cannot register Ziyech
yes.
from Ajax,
Cannot.
even though they signed him in January.
January, yeah.
This
is weird.
This is weird, and this is complicating, and this is,
yeah.
For a team like Leipzig, I don't understand how difficult it must be for them to watch their star striker. Yes, he was going to go anyway, and yes, the agreement was there between both clubs and the player to say, hey, he's not gonna play. Because if you are Chelsea, you don't want your striker that you spend money on playing for the other team and risk a chance of tearing his
injuries,
and being ruled out for the beginning of next season.
Yeah.
But this is the Champions League we're talking about. If you were if you were Timo Werner, what would you have done?
I think if the most important thing is to establish what was said to Timo Werner when Chelsea approached him, because obviously the new normal. I think a smart player would think under this new normal and say, okay, so the season finishes at this time. The Bundesliga finishes at this time. Then you still have the Champions League, and then there's Chelsea also in the Champions League. If Chelsea do a miracle and beat Bayern, and and they move on, maybe they might play Leipzig. So what's going to happen with me? I think also it's it's good thinking from Chelsea for trying to protect their player to agree on this, because I mean, remember, it's not this is money Chelsea. Yes, they have, but they cannot afford to just throw away, because the signings right now are a bit minimal, and teams don't want to spend a lot on just players. They want to spend on quality players. So when they got this Timo Werner thing, they said, okay, let's protect him. We won't play him in the Champions League. It's fine. And I think also Chelsea psychologically they do understand that they won't get as far as the final in the Champions League. This is not 2012. They'll probably okay. Let's let him finish the season. He'll come and join us when he's already allowed to the country, because I think at some point during July 1st, him and Ziyech weren't allowed to come into England at that time. I'm not sure what's happening. What's the situation right now? Apparently they had to quarantine and stuff. But let him join up when everything is sorted. He's still part of the old season. Let's finish our season and see what happens, and then and see what's gonna happen. Also remember that Chelsea have a when they signed the Timo Werner, they already have secured a year-long deal for Olivier Giroud. They also have a Tammy Abraham to think of. Tammy Abraham has a 2-year left in his contract, and he's a Chelsea player, is a bright star. He's coming in. He scored 15 goals in the league. He's a player with the Chelsea team. Um, uh, Perhaps like let's say they rely on him to score the goals. So you also don't want to frustrate the current talent you have by just bringing in someone who you just saw right now. So you want both of them to gel in well, give them equal time to play, give Tammy Abraham to finish off the season, and if he gets to his 20 goals, if he doesn't, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Then only then next season you want to bring in. And this has affected. I personally feel like the transfer of Timo Werner has affected Tammy Abraham. If you look at Tammy Abraham and how he's playing right now, his body language is a bit off. He hasn't scored a goal since January, I think. But obviously, that hasn't been evident for quite for a while before the league was closed. But now it's like, you know, he's frustrated. It's like he doesn't want to be where he is right now. He's in contract talks with Chelsea, which are taking time, and Chelsea managed to secure every player that they wanted to secure. Probably like last year, Karim Hudson-Odoi was wanted by Bayern, but Chelsea managed to secure him. So it's confusing time for the player himself. But Chelsea's perspective, they protected their new player and their own player at the same time. Kudos to them.
Kudos to them. And the other thing, you know, time is running out. The other thing that I want us to just elaborate on, you know, my personal view is this Champions League is not going to be like any other Champions League, because now I think
it's a World Cup.
I think now it's a World Cup. I think and RB had a chance. I think Atalanta, for me now, they stand a huge, because you know, over 2 legs, yes, you can grind it out, but over 1 leg, Atalanta can beat anybody. You know, so
yes,
I now yes, the favorites might be Bayern Munich, given what they have done already this season. Maybe, you know, maybe your Manchester City, if they can beat Real Madrid, or even Real Madrid themselves. But this, you know, the Champions League might be won by a team that nobody thought of, because of this single-legged knockout type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have run out of time, S'bu. We'll chat more in the next episodes of this of the SportPad. And also after the Champions League, after the Champions League draw on Friday, we'll come back and give our opinion on what the ties are looking like. So yeah, from me, Eugene Mangani, and S'bu Zulu down in the KZN, it's kudos and thank you. See you next time.
Sharp.